Useless Wizard, check your Discord messages. Alright, Schmitty, take her easy. Guys, I'm going to give Schmitty some follows. Show him some stream love, help support him too. From a California high school girl point of view, that's easily 50% covered.
I will be back in just a minute. Hey Google, turn off the living room lights. Hey Google, turn off the ambient light. Thank you. Yes, I realize I just spoke to my Google Home Assistant speaker. I'm quite aware. All right, so hello, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Joe coming to you with Schmitty's Forge miniature painting, live from beautiful Houston, Texas. Yeah, it is currently mostly cloudy, kind of sunny, and last I heard it was actually pretty humid outside. When I walked the dogs this morning, it was definitely humid outside. Let's just get a few things going. I apologize if there's a double up of sound for a second. Probably not. Probably not. Ah, we're good. We're good. We're good. All right. So, today, what are we going to be doing? Well, I'm probably only going to be streaming for about 2 hours, maybe a little longer, as I have an important appointment that I have to get to. I may even jump back on after that. Just depends on how long the appointment takes and what kind of progress we make. But today, I am going to be painting something really cool, something pretty awesome. If you've seen the preview videos that I did when I was testing up my sound setup and everything, yeah, you probably got to see it. So this is what we're going to be painting. Let's go and take a look. All right, so this bad boy right here, her right there, it's a she. This is the model Mal Drakkar from Reaper Bones Miniatures. It's a really big one. This 5-headed awesome dragon, really cool pose. Well, it's not going to be Mal Drakkar. This is going to become Tiamat. Yes, the Dragon Queen herself, right here. We're gonna bring her to the flesh, and it's gonna be awesome. If you don't play Dungeons and Dragons, I will fill you in on a little bit of the Forgotten Realms campaign setting lore. Basically, Tiamat is one of the many gods of the realms. She is the queen of all chromatic dragons. And if you don't know anything about dragons, if you're new to Dungeons and Dragons, or if you don't know about it, but you're interested, chromatic dragons are one of 2, technically 3 categories of dragon in Dungeons and Dragons. There are the chromatic dragons, which are almost all on the evil side of the alignment spectrum. These dragons, they basically are the most selfish, greedy, evil, wicked, violent creatures, the proudest creatures in the known universe, basically. There are also the opposite of the chromatic dragons. That would be the chromatic, not the chromatic dragons, but that would be the metallic, the metallic dragons. Metallic dragons are all on the neutral good to good side of the spectrum, and basically they are the things that are good in life. Being just, being kind, being studious, being civil, maintaining justice, law and order, equality, things like that. They fight for what's good in the world. They value life. They value love. They value art and culture. And they value prosperity for not only themselves, but for everyone. Then, technically, there are the gemstone dragons, or the gem dragons. And they are pretty much, if you're going by today's, the most modern date and time in the Forgotten Realms, which is the year 1492, I think, Dale Reckoning. DR, that's what that stands for, is Dale Reckoning. And anyway, as of now, the present in D&D's Forgotten Realms terms, the gem dragons, couldn't think of the word for a second, the gem dragons are all but extinct. If there are some who exist, They are in deep, deep, deep hiding and have not been seen for millennia, basically. So, what does all this have to do with Tiamat? Well, Tiamat, she is the queen of all chromatic dragons. She herself is a colossal, massive, gargantuan sized 5-headed dragon. And the main head, which I'm going to paint, is this one. The main head is the red dragon head. Then we've got the black dragon head right here. Though it doesn't, this model doesn't like match the D&D official like design or art design for dragons of these types. But anyway, it's going to be a black dragon head. This guy right here is going to be the blue dragon head because he's got the horn, and he most closely looked like a blue dragon out of all of these. This one, I'm probably going to make the white dragon head. And then down here, we've got the green dragon head, lastly. Tiamat. She is a goddess, basically. She's one of the many gods. And she's currently a lesser deity. Basically, her story is she's all about, her. Like, she doesn't give a shit about anybody else, anything else. She just wants all the power, all the glory, all the, everything. She wants the riches, the wealth, the glory, the power, the fame, the fortune, the fear. She feeds off fear and loves it. The sacrifices, the worship. She wants everything. And yeah, she's evil. She is chaotic evil. Like, does evil to be evil in evil ways that are evil. Pardon me. Oh my goodness. I need to take a drink. So, Tiamat did some bad stuff in her history. And the breakdown of it is that basically she got, she used to be the ruler of the first layer of the realm called the 9 Hells. It's basically hell, but there's 9 levels of them. 9 different floating Pringles chips, if you will, stacked in different layers, like the first one, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, all the way down. And basically, she pissed off Asmodeus, the ruler of all of the 9 Hells, basically the devil. She pissed him off, she angered him, she did something, and basically what he did was he stripped her of her powers and imprisoned her in the first layer of the 9 Hells, known as Avernus. So that, that's her place. She's in Avernus. Like, she was the ruler of Avernus. She got to do everything that was going on in Avernus, and she was in control of it. She shaped it, all that good stuff. Well, not anymore. Now she's a prisoner there. She can't leave ever, and to add insult to injury, Asmodeus took this fallen angel, basically, who had turned to evil from good, and made her the new lord of, or lady of the first level of the 9 Hells, which is Avernus. So, Lady of Avernus, essentially. Lord, ruler, governor, president, emperor, all the above. So, Tiamat's pissed off. She's there, she's stuck. She's trying to reach out to her followers in the prime material plane to summon her out, to get her out. And basically, that is the ultimate potential storyline for, spoiler alert, if you haven't heard it. Mute your mic for just about a minute. That's how long I'm going to talk about it. But there's a campaign for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons called Tyranny of Dragons. It's composed of 2 different campaign books. The first is called Horde of the Dragon Queen. The second is called The Rise of Tiamat. And I run a Dungeons and Dragons campaign with some friends here in Houston. We started it up after meeting at a bar to discuss playing D&D, and everybody was really interested in the idea, but nobody was ready to say they wanted to be the dungeon master to run everything, to create everything. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll do it. Let's set up a meet and greet, and we'll talk about character creation. I'm so sorry. Character creation, and we'll talk about what we're gonna play, and we'll do it. We'll just start a campaign. That was 2 years ago, as of this past August, and we've been playing a continuous campaign. We started with the starter set adventure for 5th edition called Lost Mine of Phandelver. It's a fantastic bit of adventure. So very well written, and it's a wonderful introduction into the Sword Coast and Faerun, even Toril as a whole, kind of. It's just wonderful. Great introduction. And we took that, and we went from Lost Mine of Phandelver, and we jumped straight into Horde of the Dragon Queen. And players breezed through that, and we started up the Rise of Tiamat, and that's what we're still running today. They are currently at 12th level, I believe, and they're in the last quarter of this campaign, basically. But you know what happened? Guess what happened? Just think about it, because we were meeting in person for a long time. We were meeting in person at our house, in our apartment, basically. We would get together in the living room, meet in person, have drinks, have food, laugh. It was great. Just saying. Guess what happened? Yeah, you win. COVID-19, the pandemic. Living in the fourth or fourth largest city in the United States of America, with well over 4 million people in the city limits, and a metropolitan area of about 8 to 9 million people. Yeah, the virus started spreading here like crazy. And we stopped playing in person. And I realized that I said, wait just about a minute, and I'm starting to ramble. I promise I'm going to reach the conclusion of what I'm getting at. We stopped playing in person and started playing strictly online and using Roll20 and D&D Beyond, and it's been pretty fantastic. It's not as good as playing in person because we get to use really freaking awesome minis and terrain that I've 3D printed, and I've got the Philips Hue light bulbs. We've got some Sonos speakers, so we've got sound. I use Sirenscape to add a soundtrack. I have a really cool series of Spotify playlists of all copyrighted music that we just play in home. That's why we don't stream our game. But I've got playlists, and it was a lot of fun. I've been able to transfer most of that to online play. I'm able to play music and the soundtracks more often than not. Sometimes my system settings were really messed up, but I think I've got them like ironed out completely now. So I'm excited for the next session. But you know, we miss being able to play in person. We're supposed to play soon. Let me get a drink. We're supposed to play pretty soon. Hopefully this next Saturday night. We'll just have to see how it goes. But anyway, Tiamat is potentially, spoilers now. Spoilers ahead. Going to talk about Tiamat for about 1 minute, maybe less. So skip ahead. In The Rise of Tiamat, at the end, at the culmination of the campaign, if the players are able to survive and make it to the end, they can either prevent the cult of the dragon, that's Tiamat's followers, from basically summoning her from Avernus into the prime material plane, or they fail and she comes. They can either stop her from coming, or she comes, or she like halfway comes. But either way, the end deals with basically at 20th level. Well, technically in the adventure books, it's like 16th or 17th level. They're like, okay, you're gonna potentially have your characters fight a deity. So yeah. And this is the model that I purchased and am going to be painting. Finally, yes, we're gonna paint. This is the model that I purchased to represent Tiamat, and I can't wait to paint this thing anymore. So, I always like to start with an idea, scheme, if you will, of what's it going to look like. What's the paint plan, essentially? So, since thematically she's going to be coming out of the Nine Hills, I thought this model, actually you can't see all the detail because of the washout of this camera. It's not the greatest thing in the world, and like if I turn it, you can see in the shadows here. There's a lot of cool detail on these rocks, and there's a whole other like part of it that goes in front of her, which I'm gonna have to paint separately. Let me see if I can get it. This. That goes in the front, and it's got these really cool like dragon motifs on them in the rock and the stone. It's pretty freaking cool. Let's see, it goes like right here, something like that. We'll deal with that later when it's time to get there. Maybe later today. But what I'm going to do is cough, because sinus drainage is a bitch, and it's just something you have to live with if you have allergies and you live in a swamp, more or less, or marshlands, which Houston used to be. Just a century or two ago. So, what I plan on doing is the bottom down here. I plan for basically, I plan for it to look like she's coming from Avernus. She's getting summoned from hell, basically. Right? So, the goal is to make the terrain down here look volcanic and like magma, maybe some lava flows, and then her body itself, the lower lower majority of it. I want it to look like, especially with her tail down here, I wanted it to look like maybe up to about right here, even in her arms, about right in here, that she is also like mostly magma and like having to be like born out of hell essentially into the prime material plane. So from here up, she's going to be made of like magma. That's the idea. So we're going to put down the base coats for magma and lava today, right there. And then normally up from there, so sorry. After the magma, it's going to slowly transition. The main body color is red, and then the wings are mostly red, but we're going to do some stuff with these two. I'm thinking about maybe on the ends, like the fringe is also going to be mostly magma. Magma. Lava. Lasers. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna make her look like she's got freaking cool like magma wings, and then it solidifies as it goes up. So yeah, that's gonna be cool. I would like to also see about maybe making some breath weapons eventually. Fire, lightning, acid, poison, and then this one's not really breathing. He's not opening his mouth. He's just chill. He's like, whatever. I'll be quiet. So, yeah, that should be cool. That's a fun, like, stretch goal, maybe. I'm hoping, like, with my campaign, our campaign, but my plans for our campaign is to hopefully make the online sessions last up until the end of the pandemic, which I now believe, strongly now believe, that the United States of America has turned the corner, a much needed corner. Don't really care about your political beliefs, but I know that anyone who has been alive this last year knows that things are not normal. That to politicize a pandemic and the measures that it takes to keep yourself safe and the public safe, to ultimately keep yourself safe, to politicize that, to politicize mask wearing and physical distancing. I don't call it social distancing, I call it physical distancing, because you can socialize online like we're doing right now. Even if you're watching this video later, we're socializing right now. And it's been awful. It's been awful. These last 4 years have been awful, but this last year has been pretty rough. So, yeah. But that being said, once we like have to lock down, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to lock down like nationwide, and that's cool because then I'll stream every freaking day. But if we lock down again for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, an entire month, like have the government take care of small businesses and large businesses a little bit, make it proportional, and like send everyone a stimulus payment to pay for their lost wages and downtime. Do this like 2 weeks ahead of the lockdown, so that everybody has time to go buy their supplies, buy everything that they're going to need, also for supply chains to restock and produce and everybody to get everything done so that we can be like, okay guys, let's shut everything down except for like utility, like main services and stuff. And then if you're not like in charge of the core needs like energy, water, and sewage and trash, like, you stay home. You don't work. You stay home. Or even if we have to do, you know, just something like that. It's not bad. We've done it once already. Some places in the world have done it twice. Some places are doing it 3 times. We need to do it again, and we need to do it right this time. It needs to be mandated nationwide, and everybody needs to stay home. Stay home. That's the only way we're going to kill this thing quickly. If it doesn't have hosts to jump to, then it will die out. I'm tired of every day like 240,000 American citizens nearly are dead because of COVID-19. The coronavirus, SARS-2, whatever, COVID-19. They're dead. They're gone. They could have lived. They could have lived. I believe that some deaths from this were inevitable, but not 240,000 nearly. Not nearly 250,000 Americans. So, now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to get my airbrush going, make sure that the compressor is working. Oh yeah. Got some air there. I'm going to have a cheese stick because I am really hungry. Okay, cool. So, I'd like to first go back over the red primer that I did, because I did wash this, but apparently I didn't scrub well enough, because Reaper Bones, like their plastic material that they had when this was made, not the new stuff, the Bones black stuff's pretty legit. It's like really hard to scrub off the mold release, and that's what causes a few white spots to appear in the primer job. So like, it's hard to see, but there are a few places in the scales and the gaps where the paint did not stick. It was just too covered in that mold release stuff. But especially down here, like the tail. Otherwise, it was a pretty good like base coat that I have already done. I do see that there are some bits where I probably need to scrape away some mold lines. I will probably do that before the next video, because we're not going to get up there just yet. It's mainly going to be down here, and I can easily, super easily clean up and cover up any bits that shouldn't be here down below. So, let's see. Pardon me a minute. I do have my chat up. There's nobody here, but doesn't mean there's not going to be someone here. Oh, I probably need to mention on Facebook, just look for Schmitty's Forge, that I've got my previous work visible. Oh, that's good. Here, let's change this for a minute. There we go. excuse me. Make sure the music is playing. There we go. Probably couldn't hear it that well before. Probably the angle of attack. I'm gonna go right in here in this area, and these first few layers are going to be difficult for you to see because it's going to be red on red, but it's necessary. It's an important step if you want to do this right, because I want to get the gradient looking really good. And yeah, excuse me. Cool. Yeah, I like the background. It's just fun. It's reactive to my voice and the music that we're playing and listening to. This is just it's like a mix of chip tunes and like techno and electronica and some rock. Just all the good things. It's supposed to be royalty free, so usable for streaming. I made this list like a long time ago when I was first messing around with Twitch on my main like profile, Gray Tiger Fox, and that's Gray with an E, like the British spelling of Gray, just because I like it. Yeah. Hold on a sec. Okay, cool. I'm gonna take. It's afternoon. Duh. No wonder. I've been coughing so much. I need to take my inhaler for a second, and then we'll get going. That probably sounded gross. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to have it unmuted. Oh well. I'm real. I'm a real human. I exist. At least I think I do. Enjoy the music. This is a song by Pop Sky. It's called Dance Floor Fisticuffs. I really like it. I hope you do too. gonna refresh my beverage, and I will be right back. And then we'll get started painting finally. Freaking 41 minutes in. It'll probably be like 43 to 44 minutes in. Be right back. Okay, I've returned. Let's get this going, shall we? Okay. Ooh. So, let's see. I'm gonna turn the music down just a smidge. A smidgen. There we go. Still there. You can still hear it. It's about halfway. My only worry is that my microphone is gonna be behind me. I haven't been able to figure out a clean way to run the mic from my computer, which is on the opposite side of the room, this way, to over here. I'll figure it out. You get it, Sax Man. That's good. Okay, so gonna get my airbrush. We're gonna use some Liquitex Imperial Red acrylic ink because it is this is transparent. And I like things to go on thin. I like thin paint. That's very important for miniature painting, any type of painting. Well, it depends on what you're trying to do. But with miniature painting, number one rule, thin your paints. Load this sucker up. We'll try to get a little closer. You can see. We're going to use a lot of red. I'm going to put a lot of red in here. More than I typically do. But this, the ink, it's very thin. It's very, very fluid. Not quite the consistency of water, but still very fluid. So it's easy to aerosolize, and basically it's really easy to airbrush. This might be a pain in the ass to clean later, but it's still pretty cool. Now, let's just do some, oh, that's what I was worried about. Test sprays. Just because we're loaded so heavy. I'm going to turn down the pressure. Just a minute. So sorry. Oh, no wonder. I'm at like 25 psi. There we go. Let's spray my handy dandy paint shield back here. Alright, let's get going. Trying to get all the nooks and crannies. It's making it a lot brighter, much brighter, which is cool. Trying my best not to get on the heads, but I'm not very worried about that at this point. I just want to get a good coat and cover it up so it's nice and bright red. Oh yeah, I love this color. It's a beautiful color. Super good saturation. I left my little mini fan. I've got a small fan that I use, portable fan. I left it at work. I have to order one just for use here while I'm at home. It comes in really handy and it speeds up the drying times a lot. A lot. Okay, let's see. Give me a second. I am so sorry. I should have had it on this. You know, inaugural stream. First time we're doing this, there's gonna be screw ups. It's gonna happen just like that. Alright. focusing mainly on the bass. Mainly the bass, Joe. Just stick with bass. Because I have a feeling that when this dries, it's going to be maybe a little darker. Maybe. Oh. Anyway, water run out? Okie dokie. Let's get some more. It just looks like a cup full of blood. It's pretty crazy. We'll just put 3 droppers full. That should be plenty to finish her off. Or at least the base. That is our focus today. Let's put the cap back on and collect anything that's dripped on the needle. Okay, and back to it. I'm trying to fill in the spots where the paint did not adhere last time. And there's some places where it didn't even reach it last time. It's a really cool sculpt. I really like it. Really, really cool. I really would like to get a vent hood so that there's not so much aerosol going up in the air. It's not great, but I've got a fan going, and we've got the air conditioner going, and I've got a door open. So it'll have to do for the time being. Perfect. Okay. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. We got a pretty good coat going all over. We'll let that dry for a little bit. And in the meantime, I'm going to clean out the airbrush using some Media airbrush cleaner. Got a bubble. Just put that in there a little bit. I'm going to get my piece of crap sturdy brush. I'm going to stir the airbrush cleaner around the inside of the pot and the cup. Maybe a little on the outside too. And then we're going to dump the cup, dump it out, and then spray back here whatever little bit didn't get dumped out. And it's a lot cleaner, a lot cleaner. And then I'm going to put a little bit more in there. And use the crappy brush, swizzle it around a good bit. Got to swizzle it around. Yeah, swizzle around. And, that's what you gotta do. You gotta swizzle it. That's what I always say. That is the voice of Schmitty. Schmitty, who's the namesake of my channel. Schmitty is an NPC, a non-playable character that I made up for Lost Mine of Phandelver. He is the blacksmith in Phandalin, the frontier town where the players start, or eventually that's where the real adventure starts. And all of my players in both of the campaign games that I've run fell in love with him. They just love Schmitty, and he's this old blacksmith. He's a human. He's probably in his 80s, maybe 90s. He's an old dude. And he has a forge and anvil set up near the entrance to Phandalin. And he's a blacksmith, a farrier. He does all of that for the town and its inhabitants and travelers, etc. But he also forges weapons, and he does knives and shields and some metallic armor. There we go. Yeah, it's a lot cleaner. I like it. Anyway, Schmitty, he's kind of old. Like I said, he's pretty senile. He's mostly deaf. He's also nearly blind because of the staring at fire his whole life. So yeah, typical blacksmith. Except, though he looks frail and old and withered at first glance, when he has on his blacksmithing apron and the leather shirt and pants, whenever he takes off his shirt, he is ripped. The guy is jacked. I can see. Oh, hey, Benwin Bronze Bottom. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. I see you're in and out right now. I am so sorry. I'll leave a message in the chat for you. Welcome. Be safe out there. Alright, cool. So anyway, Schmitty is, he's ripped, he's jacked, he's in super good shape. And he's kind of like a dude from Dragon Ball Z. Master Roshi. There we go. Sorry. I know, you probably just had a stroke. Alright, cool. He's super jacked, he's fun, and he's just kind of old, and he loves his anvil. He loves that damn anvil so much. We've been through so much together. Yep. Next color. We're done with Imperial Red. Set that boy there. Next, we're going up 1.5 step in the gradient. And this is Vivid Red Orange. I'm going to swizzle it around a little. Shake it just a wee bit. And then open it up. And then on this pass, we're not going to put nearly as much ink in the cup because we're going to be selective in where the orange or the red orange goes. Each layer that we use is going to get smaller and smaller in its coverage area, because after we get the plan from red to red orange to orange yellow to yellow, once we get there, after all of those coats are put on, we're going to use probably a big brush, probably not this crappy brush. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. We're gonna get black, and we're going to go over it with black to cover up some of the areas, and that way it will look like magma. So, let's just pick a few places to go. Again, it's going to be really hard to even tell that this is on here because it's so close to red. Right. Just a shade brighter. I'm not trying to get everywhere, just some smattered spots here and there. Because, think about it, lava, magma, the hotter it is, the closer the color is to yellow. And the cooler it is, the closer the color is to red. So, the coldest areas are going to be red, and the warmer, hotter areas will be a gradient to yellow. Did you see that little fly that's there? I hope it's not fruit fly season. I hate those things. They take forever to get rid of. We had an infestation of fruit flies one time, a few years back. It was bad. It was real bad. Like, oh man, just too many people. Hey, whoever else joined, welcome in. Yeah, we're painting Maldrakar to be Tiamat for Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, the fruit flies. Oh, okay. Thank you, Benwin. Let me see if I can make that a little better. Is the music too loud? I'll turn the music down. We'll put the music down to like right here. Roughly 33%, I would say. Okay. Is that any better? Can you hear me better? I'll also turn up the gain so that when I'm turned away, this is how I'll be working. Is this okay? Can you hear me any better? Well, I'll check on you in a minute. So, back to painting. The fruit flies. They were the worst. Cool. Done with that. What we had to do was get like a Tupperware bowl, and we filled it with water, mostly, and then we put a layer of Dawn dish soap on the top, and we sealed it with like a piece of plastic cling wrap, and basically we got like a toothpick and put holes in the cling wrap, a few of them, so that the flies would go down into the dish they'd be like, oh, and we put some like berries in there, and the flies would go into the dish and go check out the berries that were there, that were rotting, and once they would get to the water, the dish soap would like screw the surface tension up, and they would like sink into it, and it was bad for them, but we caught so many of those damn fruit flies. Sorry, I hit the tripod. We got so many of those damn fruit flies and killed them. It took like 3 or 4 weeks, like maybe a month, a little less than a month. But we would like leave, go home, or go to work, come home, and then we would find just so many dead flies, and we'd have to change it out every now and then. But great trap, didn't cost much money whatsoever, and yeah, highly recommended. Alright, this is yellow orange ink. From Liquitex. There we go. I think I'm going to add a drop of this vivid red orange as well, just to maybe darken it a little, and we'll stir it up and see how it looks. As I don't know if Liquitex makes an ink. I'm sure they do, but the Michael's store that I went to buy this did not have it in stock. Yeah, I like that color orange a lot better. Cool. Let's wash the brush and beat the devil out of it. Like a good man, the late great legend Bob Ross would say. Cool. Put the cap back on. Alright, now we need to spray even less. Oh, I think I got a little too much in there. Let me get a cotton swab. Come here. Oh yeah, way too much. That's okay. Add more opacity to it. Not by the amount that you spray, but the number of layers that you spray. Not having my fan with me is it's definitely slowing things down. But now I'm starting to see a shift from red to orange in places, and that's exactly what I want to see. Much better. Pardon me, white dragon. Just grab it onto your head for swivelly use for a little bit. Get back toward that tail. Especially like where there are cracks, I'm probably going to use a brush to go over later to do some detail work, line work, so that it will look even better. But right now, we're being sloppy. We're just spraying haphazardly because this is what base coating is all about. Just throwing down color. Alright. Yeah, it's getting there. She's getting there. We're really going to start to see a transition after this next layer. Let me put my hand there and see if it'll focus any better. Or the white balance will be a little bit better. Okay. Cleaning out the airbrush. I love painting miniatures. It is really zen. It's super relaxing to do. It's just something that I can throw some music on and enjoy. Just chill, forget about life for a little bit, and just create. Got it on me. That's okay. Alright, now dump. Slowly, this water cup will like start to change colors and become like this nasty, like puke poop brown, probably. I don't know. I've had my water become really cool looking colors and really awful looking colors. It just depends on what I'm painting and how much of each color I'm using. Cleaning out the airbrush. That's pretty good. Alright. Set this over here in its holder. Yeah, I've got to I got to figure out a way to move my microphone over here to my work table because I've got it set up in front of my computers, which are on my right side, and the model is here on the left. So, yeah. Okay, now we're gonna go to just pure yellow-orange, but we really need to let this dry first because it's still quite wet. So I'm going to let that dry for a little bit, and we're going to go to the bigger picture. And apologies if you hear my dog sleeping. She snores sometimes. She's not snoring right now, but she probably will. She's laying down in the floor behind me, sleeping. That's what she does. I've got a Pembroke Welsh Corgi. Pembroke Welsh Corgi. Her name's Bandit. She's 9 years old. She's a tricolor. I'll see if I can throw up a picture. Throw up a picture. Let's see. We'll put a picture up there. Bandit. And Bailey is my other dog. She's half Pomeranian, half Boston Terrier. So she's a fun, weird little dog. Let's see. Oh, that's a pretty dang good picture of Bandit right there. We'll do that. Oh, I'm gonna have to make that a lot smaller. Okay, sorry. I'll move it around so you can see her. There she is. That's my puppy dog right there, Bandit. She is so much fun. This was a few years back. I took this while we were playing outside. I love that dog. Best dog I've ever had. She's, like I said, she's 9 years old. I'll stick her down here. And then let me get Bailey, or I'll stick her up here, and then we'll put Bailey down here. Just a second. Let's see, where's a good picture of Bailey? She's hard to photograph. Like, she doesn't like to stay put much, but let's see, we'll put her there. This is gonna be huge again. There she is. She's as you can see, like there we go. Bailey is 8 years old, and she has like the brindle coloring, which I love, and so does my wife Ashley. This is Ashley's dog. This is Bailey. She loves that dog. I love her too. We've had her since she was like old enough to be weaned. So what, 6 weeks? 6 weeks, I think, something like that. But you can see, like, she looks mostly like a Boston Terrier, but her face and especially that tail give the Pomeranian parts away. She's like, the first bit of her tail goes straight, and then the Pomeranian curl starts to happen. So she's got a permanent question mark. That's her way of saying, hey, can I eat it? Or will you pet me? Or why aren't you looking at me? Let's snuggle. Those are the questions that tail ends up asking more often than not. But yeah, I'll just say this as Bailey and Bandit show off. For anyone who wants to see the dogs, let's duplicate it and do that again. Cool. Awesome. So I'll put, let's see if we can put some text there. We'll throw some text up. Bailey. And we'll go with Impact as the font. Of course. Bailey. That's Bailey. Right there. And then we'll make one more text. And this is Bandit. Oh, I hear him barking or growling. They might start barking. They don't like sound. So if someone ever like comes out the front door or walks by, then they lose their shit. They just bark and bark and bark. Not usually when they walk by, but if someone knocks, oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at the background. I'm gonna move this to here. That background right there, that's kind of the magma effect I'm gonna be going for. Yeah, that was cool. I like that. I like that a lot. But yeah, Bailey and Bandit. Let's clean them up here. See you, Bailey. See you, Bandit. You've got your own scene now. Haha. Cool. Let's check in on the Mini. This gigantic Mini. It's still pretty wet. Gotta let it air dry a little longer before we go forward. So in the meantime, while it's drying, if you have any questions or anything you want to say, talk in the chat. Even if you're like watching this later on YouTube, leave a comment for me. Of course, like and subscribe like they always say. But yeah, leave a comment for me. I will reply. It might take a day, but I'll reply. I am going to pull up the Facebook group for Schmitty's Forge so that you guys could see it. We'll do it as its own separate window. Because what I'd like to do is show you like some of the posts that are on there while we're letting this dry. So you can see some of my completed works. Like I think I'll go to the very first one that I posted and then we'll go to the most recent in that order. So yeah, let's see. I'm gonna duplicate this scene. Duplicate. We're gonna name this scene desktop window share. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this video and we're gonna make it small. And we're going to stick it over here in the corner. And then in the middle, we're going to have another capture device. Let's see, bear with me. Window capture. This is going to be called... I'm sorry guys, I know this might be boring, but bear with me. Cool. And we're going to choose that one. So, let's see if it works. Oh, we need it to be on top. Top layer, top layer. Because otherwise you're not going to see anything. Huh. It's not working. Let's try again. That'd be the one. Cool. Excuse me, sorry. Cool. So yeah, this is the website for Schmitty's Forge. Let's get this a little bit bigger. I'll zoom in just a wee bit. Cool. Yep, there's the logo. I had a really cool guy on Reddit, actually, in the Draw For Me subreddit. He designed that logo for me. I really, really like it. Let's go down and take a look at posts. And we'll go to the bottom. Let's go. All the way down. Cool. Let me see if I can get the other stuff showing. Cool. Awesome. So now we've got this set up for going forward. Alright. Schmitty's Forge, miniature painting. That's the logo I had commissioned along with the splash screen. So, this one right here. This guy. I painted it for like our last session, or no, I think the first session we did, the first major milestone boss in Rise of Tiamat. This is the Reaper Bones Martharangul Great Dragon. This I did back in the spring of 2019, I'm pretty sure, because that gels with how long we were playing. Probably closer to summer, but it was late spring at least. I really, really enjoyed painting this one. So let's get some better views. I'll bring it up. Yep, that's the whole thing. Let's see if I can move it over a little. No. No. I will move the window over myself. There we go. Cool. So, there's that cool view. I really like the face, just how fierce and angry he is. It's supposed to be a white dragon. The white dragons, their breath weapon is ice, of course, and they're the most like feral and wicked and beast-like, like primal, of the chromatic dragons. And their breath weapon is cold damage or ice damage. I pretty much use them interchangeably when we play, but I really like the model, and I made this base out of most of it is cork that I cut up and spray painted, and then covered with like some artificial snow like turf. Let's see if there's a closer picture. There's the face. I never did complete his eyes, I just left them white. I need to go back and get those correct. I want to make sure he's got an eyeball so he looks cool and fierce. Because the eyes are like, they're the windows to the soul. But no, they're like the most important thing on a mini is if you get the eyes and the face right. Because that's what grabs your attention first. You want to have the highlights in the right places. You want shadows in the right places. And you want the eyes to look good. Because with the eyes looking good, then it's going to look good. So, yeah, that makes sense. When things look good, they look good. What else we got? Is that it? No, there's one more picture. Yeah, the back. That was so much fun to paint and go out and pick every single one of those freaking scales out. I mostly dry brushed it. I didn't do that. I went through afterward and did highlights on the very, very edges of the scales. But otherwise, yeah, I think it turned out. He's a fun white dragon model. All right, next. What do we got? This little guy. So yeah, as you can see, I printed this on my really basic, super crappy, not super crappy, it's pretty decent. It's really good for terrain. It's slow. It isn't the best thing in the world, but my 3D printer. I've got a Monoprice Select Mini V2 printer. Oop, someone's here, maybe. I don't know. Hush, Bandit. It's okay. But the Monoprice Select Mini V2. Let me move this again. Oh, crap. Crap on a cracker. Just move over. There we go. Nice. Nice. Monoprice Select Mini V2. It's a FDM printer that uses this like plastic that is plant-based. It's polylactic acid, I think is what it's called, PLA. And it basically goes through this device called an extruder, which heats up the plastic to melt it, to make it pliable. And then it comes out a small tip, a nozzle at the end. And it'll go through and layer by layer, line by line, over hours, it will start to build up layers and start to build the model layer at a time. It's pretty cool. Most models have these like little sticks of plastic that come from the base up to support it. They're called supports, so that if you have a lot of things that hang out, such as these arms, or like, I can't turn it, but the rear end, it'll support it and keep it from falling over in the middle of the print. That happens sometimes. But this one I printed and painted a long time ago. That was like the first time that I tried to make the eye look like what a Nothic is supposed to look like. Let me see if I can get the official artwork, because that's what I went by. So we'll pull up the official artwork and check him out. But he's fallen apart. His arm, his legs, and his other arm have broken off, snapped off, and had to be re-glued so many freaking times. But he's still around. I have not painted him further because this is one of my first things I ever made and painted, and it's good to keep them around so you can see where you've come from. Let's see. Here we go. This is from D&D Beyond. This is the Nothic right there. that pretty guy, pretty boy. That's pretty freaking close. Let me see if I can do this. I'll split my screen. Oh, where am I grabbing it? Ah, crap. Up here. I'll do that half there. And that half there. So we can move him over, maybe. And you can see side by side. Pretty close. I tried to get the eyes similar to that. I could probably do a better job now, but I did it the reverse. It should have been green on the edges and yellow in the middle with black. I just now realizing that. I like him. I made him. He's my own. I made his eye mostly yellow at first. That's why. Oh well. But yeah, it should have been mostly green and then yellow around the pupil, in the iris, and then the pupil black. And I even put a little white dot there and there to give him specular highlight, or not specular, but realistic highlights, reflections of the light. But this guy was fun. He was a lot of fun to paint. Okay, next. Tiamat is still wet in some places. We'll get to her. We'll get to her. Next, this one. This. Yeah, it's one of my favorite minis still. Not the greatest paint job in the world, but one of my favorites. This is a mini called Ashes to Ashland from Privateer Press. And it's made for Warhammer. I think Warhammer 40K, but I still freaking love this. I use it for D&D every once in a while. I painted her as like this holy angelic like paladin with fire for wings, because that's what the model does. It's not the best paint job in the world, but I love that sculpt. I may go over it again and repaint it. I might. I don't know. I might see about ordering one of these if I can find it on eBay, because yeah, I love it so much, and I've increased my skills considerably since the first time that I painted this long ago. So we'll see. I still like that her eyes are closed, and it looks like she's like closing her eyes and really leaning into her faith to gain power, whilst the magic of this fire and flame is wrapped around her to envelop her and give her these amazing wings of flame. That was like, I think, the first time I ever did any sort of fire effect, and I really enjoyed it. I really did. So yeah, Ashes to Ashland from Privateer Press, I believe. Then, let's see, next. This one. This is the first dragon that I ever painted. It is the young Copper Dragon from WizKids, Nalzer's Marvelous Miniatures. I painted this guy. I bought him at Comic Palooza here in Houston back in 2018 or 2019. I don't remember which, but I bought him there, and that summer I just decided, after like being afraid of even trying, I decided, screw it. I'll give it a paint job. I'll try it. Let's try to do copper. And I really like how he turned out. I tried to make him look like he's got the patina on his wings, kind of like you see on copper pennies, and like even the Statue of Liberty. It's made of copper. A lot of people don't know that. It was originally made from copper, and that is what happened. Like, at first, when people were coming to the United States of America after we were gifted the Lady Liberty, they would see that she was made entirely of gleaming, shining copper on the shores. And then over the years, she became more green, turquoise, basically oxidized copper. So that's what you see on the edges of the wings. If you go to facebook.com and look for Schmitty's Forge, you can take a better look at these pictures for yourself. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I also put some of those like moss and grass. I think this was the first time that I tried to do basing, and I think I went a little overboard, but I like it because copper dragons, they're like I think they live in the deserts mostly. I could be wrong, but I haven't really had to DM and play as a copper dragon much. Not to the point that we got into their lore or history. There is a copper dragon that my players were dealing with in Rise of Tiamat. Ancient copper dragon. Why not? But yeah, I tried to go by the patina there. They dwell in dry uplands on hilltops. They make their lairs in narrow caves. False walls in the lair hide secret antechambers where the dragon stores valuable ores, art objects, and other oddities it has collected over its lifetime. Worthless items are put on display in open caves to tantalize treasure seekers and distract them from where the real treasure is hidden. Yeah, copper dragons, they are the practical jokers of the metallic dragon kind. Like, their thing, what they love in life most, is to joke and play tricks on people and anything and everything. So they're hilarious. They're great. They're a lot of fun to play, but yeah, copper dragons. Okay, next, this was my second dragon that I decided to paint. This is the young black dragon miniature from the Nalzer's Marvelous Miniatures line at WizKids. And I wanted to make it look like it was just dirty and decaying and like desiccated because they live in swamps. They're quite evil, as you can see from the eyeballs. They're red eyes. They dwell in swamps. That's why I wanted the skin of the wings to be swampy and green, kind of a greenish, blackish green. And then the rest of the body scales are black. But they dwell in swamps. They're super evil, and they have acid breath. I mean, that's what you need to know about those guys. Oh, next. Let's see. This one. I made this one in what was it? 2018, I think? For Lost to Mina Fandelver. Spoiler alert. Mute this for 30 seconds if you don't want a spoiler. Minor spoiler, but here we go. In the mine, once you find it, there is a possible creature that can cause a TPK of your party if you're not careful. And that's this one, the Flame Skull. I couldn't find any Flame Skull miniatures at the time, so I made one myself. 3D printed the base and the head was actually a bit from the skeleton head with the helmet, was a bit that I had left over from some other skeleton model kit, and I just painted it to look like the flame skull. Let's look that up. Flame skulls. That one. This is what they look like right there. So I was going for those kind of greenish blue flames with fiery eyes, and that was the first time I officially tried to do OSL, object source lighting, because it's emanating light out of it and it's surrounded by flames. Didn't turn out exactly the way I liked it, but this thing was fun. I enjoyed it a lot. And then we got this little guy, the Gazer. This is perhaps the smallest miniature I've ever painted. It's smaller than my pinky nail on my pinky finger. It's itty bitty, but that one was a lot of fun. The Gazers, I try mostly to go by the official art, like color schemes, if I can. Yeah, that's the Gazer. You can see it's got like the black X for a pupil, yellowish eyes, and like these kind of, I don't know, they're kind of like frog-like eyes, I think. Amphibian type eyes. Yeah, that's what I was trying to go for with this little guy, with this X and then the little frog-like eyes. I really had fun painting this. It's probably the fastest thing I've ever painted. Literally took like less than 5 minutes, I'd say. Next, oh yeah, you can see he's itty bitty, so freaking small. Okay, this guy right here. This is a custom 3D printed miniature from Hero Forge. This is my first character that I created and played after taking like a, I don't know, 15 to 25 year hiatus from Dungeons and Dragons. His name's Meatslab. He's an idiot. He's a barbarian. He likes ale. That's it. That's all you need to know about Meatslab. He's an idiot. He's a barbarian. He's super tall. He's 7 feet 6 inches tall. And he has a great axe that he uses to just wreck shop with. That's Meatslab. This is a really cool young green dragon that I painted. I was really happy with the gradient in the wings. Let's see what else. This is earlier this year during the pandemic when I was focused on learning how to better do eyes. I wanted to make better looking, more realistic eyes for my minis. So this was the first thing that the second thing that I painted. This was the first one I did, the female hill giant. That's the male hill giant. But yeah, I had fun learning how to mess with eyes and make it look like they're I mean, just look at that character, look at the face. The eyes are not the greatest. This was like my first attempt, but just look, she's suspicious and she's looking over there to the left. Oh, her right. You're right, her left. Yeah. There's a closer look, you can see. I did a little too much on the reflective white spot, but that's okay. This is the Balrog from the Lord of the Rings. The miniature was made by Games Workshop. This one, I just had so much fun painting. I love the Balrog, I always have, because it absolutely terrifies me. a demon of smoke and shadow and flame. It's just, the concept terrifies me. Made of fire and smoke and shadow. I mean, I had a good time putting this one together. The back. This is similar to the effect that I'm going to go for on Tiamat down here on these lower levels. I'm going to make it look kind of crackly like this, but hopefully a little bit better, so it looks cooler. Yep. Yeah. This guy. This is the young red dragon. This was my first attempt at properly doing object source lighting. I wanted to make it originally started with, I wanted the dragon to look like the chest, like the inside of his neck was getting hot because he was getting ready to fire his breath weapon off. So I wanted it to look hot on the interior. And then I thought, you know, that does, it achieves that effect, but it also goes really well, because then I found the breath weapon, like, plastic bit that it came with, and I was like, okay, yeah, no, let's do this. Let's make this object source lighting thing happen. So the hottest fire is up here, obviously coming from within his mouth, and then it gets cooler. So that's kind of what the lava is going to look like. The base of the magma is going to be red, all the way up to yellow, and then in some places, not all of them, but in some places it's going to be bright white. So it's super hot, like a super thin line around the cracks of bright white for the ultimate highlight. It's going to be cool. Yeah. I'll just blow through this real quick, and then let's see if I feel. Yeah, it's dried, more or less. So it's time for the next layers to go on. Yeah, young red dragon. That was fun. I took a lot of pictures. And then this one is the gargantuan ancient white dragon model from WizKids Pathfinder battles that I painted as a commission for some friends as an ancient green dragon. And I had a lot of fun painting this model for them. I think the eyeballs turned out really good. I was super pleased with the end result of this bad boy. I love the gradient I went with on the wings and the scales. The details on that model were so good. It was just a lot of fun to paint. Yeah, I tried to make it look like it was in the forest. She was in the forest, and there was a stream that she was near. So I threw down some basically gloss resin on top of a few layers and painted that, and then glossed over that to build up a few layers of water. And I put some ground up little leaves to make it look like there's leaves going in the stream. I wasn't super happy about the white or like light blue paint streaks that I put in there, but it's whatever. Because it was supposed to make it look like the stream was flowing. But otherwise, I really enjoyed working on this thing. All right, so let me go through these real quick. That was it. And we will go back. So yeah, Schmitty's Forge. Check that out on Facebook. So let's put down these last two layers, shall we? Okay. And now that it's dried, let's check the airbrush. A little bit was left in there of the, a little bit of the airbrush cleaner was still in there. But now we're gonna go straight on with yellow orange. Let's do that. This is where things should start to really pop and really be visible. Just gonna do 2. This is a transparent ink, so it goes on very thin. This one I'm probably going to have to do a few layers, but it's starting to show through. Oh, I need more. I need a lot more. Starting to show through in the cracks. It's more like a glaze than anything, but if you do enough layers, it'll eventually build up opacity and be a lot easier to see. Because it's so thin, I am going heavy with this because it kind of pools up like a wash in the cracks and crevices. I'm not sure if the camera can catch it, but it's starting to look pretty cool in bringing out all these details. So let's twist it around. So much red and orange. I know it's going to be difficult to see, but trust me, it's looking cool in person. And of course, whenever I finish this, I'll do some glamour shots so you can see how she turned out live. We'll reload the airbrush. Because she's big. This model is like over a foot tall, and the circumference of the face is over 9 inches in width. So, yeah, she big, and it's gonna take a lot of paint. I mean, a lot of paint to cover up. A lot of paint, a lot of layers, but the payoff will be worth it, and I am probably going to keep her for a long time. For a long time. Maybe pass her down as an heirloom or something. I don't think I could sell her once I get her done. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, let's put the cap on. Joe, put the cap on. I am wearing a mask. You can't see my face, but I am wearing a mask. We all wear masks so much these days, or at least we should be. And it really isn't a bother. No big thing. Whew. That's a lot. Let's see if it'll focus better. Maybe? No. It's going to take a few layers for it to really stand out. I'm eventually going to purchase a new camera and camera mount so we can get different angles of me working. I don't plan on showing myself, me, what I look like isn't important. It's what I'm doing. That's the focus of this channel. And that's painting. That's painting. Right now I'm making a freaking mess. But, you know, painting can be messy. It's part of what makes it freaking fun. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. More than likely I'm going to go over it again with my brush, but that'll be another stream. Trying to finish this. Might not be able to finish the lava effect base coating today because it's going to take a bunch of layers, like I've already mentioned. And I want this to turn out good. I want it to look really good and believable. So what I'm going to do, because here in a short little while, I have a appointment I have to get to. So we'll be ending the stream then. Probably take a break for about an hour, 2 hours, and then I'll come back on, more than likely. Even if it's just to come back on and be like, hey, yeah, it's getting late, I can't do anything, or, you know, hey, I'm back, let's paint a little bit more. But the plan is to go forward and I'll be painting on Mondays, every Monday at 12 noonish Central Standard Time, since I am in Houston, Texas. And yeah, we'll go from there. And if people get more interested, then I'll see about streaming more than one day a week. But right now, Mondays are it. My only other day off is Sunday, and that day I like to try to spend with my wife and my dogs. Ah, that's my alarm reminding me. We'll stop soon. But yeah, I am really excited to be able to share this with you. I've been tossing this idea around in my head for a long time now, and I hope to continue to be able to do this for a long while to go. So yeah, it's looking a little more orange on the bottom than I intended, but the effect it's still there. We've still got some red. I'll probably go through and clean that up. Let me see if it looks any better if I turn this light off. I don't know. We'll see if you can see the detail. We've probably got way too much light coming from outside the window there. I'll turn it this way and come on, white balance on me, on my finger, right there. It can't, but anyway, we'll get the whole lighting thing better figured out for next time. And like I said, I'll be back in roughly an hour or two. Houston Central Time would be near 3 or 4 p.m. And we'll continue to work on this bad boy. This is probably what I'm going to be working on for the next long while. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's huge, but it's a fun project. And if I get to a point where it gets a little boring, or I don't know, if I don't feel inspired, I might switch it up and go to another model. Like I've got this one, this purple worm that I want to repaint completely, that I started painting years ago. Yeah. Plan on it. This should be fun to paint eventually. I've got a bunch of minis that I have not painted, and I want to paint them with you guys. Probably not all of them, but you know, the cool ones, the fun ones. But anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate you sticking with me. If you're watching this later on YouTube, I hope that you enjoy. Like and subscribe. Follow my channel on Twitch. Click the little bell for notifications so that you get notifications when I would be live. Go visit me on YouTube. Go visit me on Facebook. Just look for Schmitty's Forge. Yeah. So let's just see. This is basically where I'm going to call it quits for the day. Thank you again. Come see me again. I'll be back roughly an hour to 2 hours from now. And until then, take it easy. Peace.
13 billion years in the making. Black hole in the center of a galaxy, we're still suffering.